Hello everybody, my name is Mike Sostar. In today's video we are going to be going through the back end of the MDM admin configuration. In previous videos we went ahead and displayed what the preview screen is, what the MDM CAD plugin is, how to run a basic workflow, and also how to complete a workflow with multiple stages and electronic approvals. This video is going to be an opportunity to understand how the MDM gets set up from the back end. So what we can see here is the MDM preview, workflows, file manager, and help tabs. But more importantly, we are in this admin area now. The admin area at a normal mine site will only be displayed to a small amount of the end users. These would be the MDM admins at that mine site. And in the back end of the MDM is how the system gets set up. So specifically, if I go into my preview screen, notice I have my different categories that are living within it. If I go into my admin categories and rules, notice I have my different categories that are set up in this area here. Each one of these categories gets set up with attributes. So if I just go into edit attributes in here, we have the opportunity to view that there are two attributes on these survey walls, mine and level, and there's a rule associated with this. If I go at the top of my screen here and hit add for a new rule, we can say a value is required, a value is within a range, so maybe 100 to 200 or 0 to 5. A value is in a managed list, so a list being a set of standard values that are required to be on a certain attribute, and a value is in a related list. So a related list is a combination of two different managed lists. So for example, if I had mine ABC and then I had level 1, 2, 3, I can say mine A is associated with level 1, mine B is level 2, mine C is level 3. If I go ahead and choose mine A and I choose level 3, it will not conform to the rule. So different styles of rules can be set up within the MDM environment to help promote standardization. These lists that I was just displaying here get set up in a way where if I go ahead and click on the mine button, I can actually copy and paste these values directly from Excel or CSV, and I can add these values in. Taking this a step further here, MDM works with something called Deswik.MDM, the Identity Management System. And that IMS here allows the users to have access into the MDM environment. So this is what the IMS looks like here. All the different users live within the MDM environment, and then these different users can be assigned a role. So specifically, if I'm a new user at a mine site and I am part of the survey team, I have the opportunity here to go ahead and add myself to that role itself, and now I can go ahead and have access to all the workflows that require survey role permissions. And also each user inside of here, if they are running a workflow or doing electronic approvals, they would go into the license tab here and assign that user a license. Going back into the admin page here, we have something called the workflow manager. So when we were running these different workflows previously before, these workflows can be set up in a way that is a simple check out and check in, more similar to what we were running previously before. So if I choose, let's just state the geotech pool testing workflow. Notice in this case here, I have one stage inside of here, and this one stage has one task. And within this workflow, we can call this a specific job name when we check out. We can give this workflow different permissions, who's allowed to initiate and start this workflow, and then taking this one step further here, that when this workflow was ran, who's actually allowed to run that task, what template do we want to open up, what process map do we want to open up, what layers do we want write access versus read-only access. If I go ahead to a little bit more complicated workflow with a couple additional stages here, we will go ahead and see. In this workflow specifically, we have 3 stages and a few tasks for each one of them. So very similar. This workflow itself will have a process map, a CAD template, who is actually able to run this workflow, and then this design for execution workflow is set up strategically to have only the write access data in these categories, and then the reference access categories in the following area below. And then within stage 1, a user may be required to go ahead and run a checklist. So in this example here, a custom checklist gets set up. Within this workflow itself, a user also may be required to set up a PDF. So when an approval is done, it goes to the appropriate location. And then taking this a little bit further here, depending on the different tasks of interest for that workflow, we can enforce a task. So a user must attach, for example here, a report or a memo, or a user must fill out an approval checklist, or hit approve or reject within that workflow itself. So these are all customized depending on what is required for that workflow of interest. Just continuing down the list here in this admin area, we also have the opportunity to send notifications. So for example here, when I have to approve a drawing, it can automatically send a user a notification stating this workflow is ready to be approved. You can go ahead and click on that email, and then it will then take you to the area where the approval will be done. In this area here, we also have data sources that can be set up. So specifically, for example, if there's a diamond drill hole database that we want to connect to on a regular basis, I can go into my sync settings here, and every day we have the opportunity to pull this diamond drill hole database. In this example, it's between 9:03 p.m. and 10:03 p.m. So we always can have the latest diamond drill holes displaying for the end users, an opportunity to bring in third-party information into the MDM environment. We also have something called file manager permissions. In this example here, there might be certain types of files that we want to go ahead and upload into the MDM that do not contain Deswik CAD entities. We can go ahead for every folder that we create and say certain roles that we set up in IMS have read versus check and check out, add, rename, release, checkout, and delete permissions. And then within this data set, for example, if I go to my file manager and I go ahead here and I choose geology, or let's say we go ahead and we choose block model, we have the opportunity here to automatically, when a user goes ahead and opens up the MDM, for this data to be given to them. And that's called admin instance settings. So these instance settings here give us the opportunity that when I go ahead and log out of the MDM and log in the MDM, automatically it will do a check depending on the role that I'm in, and see, in this example, the block model, and see if I have an old block model onto it. If it is an old one, it'll go ahead and download me automatically the latest block model. So for example, if I go ahead and log out and I go ahead and log back in, you'll notice at the bottom right hand side of my screen a few areas checking for updates within that environment. This is a quick overview of the different areas within the MDM admin configuration. There are more areas that can be updated, but I think that this is some good context that what was actually used in the previous videos that we had before, and then how to actually go in the back end and do some small setups. Reminder is every site can be set up site specifically and customized to meet their site requirements, and also for each site to maintain regular standards.